Hello friends, welcome to fresh new episode of Techie Tuesdays. I'm your host Techie Rathor. Techie Tuesdays is a weekly show where I answer your tech and career related queries. My YouTube analytics says that only 80% of my viewers have subscribed to my channel. So if you like my answers, then please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends, family and colleagues. Now let's get started with today's questions. Today's first question is by Akshay. He's asking, why do software developers in India start and end their career in the same technology? For example, .NET developer associate to .NET project manager. Akshay, it's not only in India, all over the world, usually developers stick to one or two frameworks throughout their career. The primary reasons behind that are number one, ease of use or familiarity with the syntax of that particular language or framework. So if you are developing an application in one particular language and tomorrow you get another problem or another application to develop, you will use the same language because you are familiar with the syntax of that particular language. So if you have started with .NET, the next application you build, you will try to use .NET because it will save the time of learning the syntax or learning anything new related to that particular program or application. The second reason is that with more experience in working in one particular framework or technology, you kind of become a subject matter expert in that particular framework or technology. It's just like that if a doctor has done MBBS, after MBBS they go for specialization. In the same way, if a programmer has learned programming or basic concepts of programming and he has done or solved the problem in a particular framework or technology, he kinds of with due course of time he kinds of become a specialist or subject matter expert in that particular technology or framework. Another reason is that it gives them a opportunity or way to connect with peers of the same technology. So that way, if like it gives them a topic, like if I am a .NET developer, I will talk to another .NET developer if I have to learn something new. So that way probably it will help me grow my knowledge as well as I become part of a community of .NET developers. So basically it gives them an identity and a way to grow with the community. So because of all these reasons, usually developers around the world stick to only one or two particular frameworks throughout their career. And they change the language or framework only if their company sponsor them or they have a strong pressure from their employers to learn a new technology or framework. Otherwise, they are asked to find a new job. So in that particular scenario, if they are not getting job in their particular expertise framework or technology, they will learn the new framework to which the company is asking them to learn and work in that technology. Next question is by Mark. He's asking, how do I improve as a front-end developer without a senior? I started working in an IT company with a small development team and I'm the only front-end member here. Mark, you will improve the same way other software developers improve their careers. That is by solving problems and practicing your skills consistently and regularly. A few ways to do that are: clone any popular website or web application in the technology in which you are working, because you are a front-end developer, so it will give you a boost in your portfolio and you will learn so many things. For example, try to clone a particular page or particular feature of Facebook or Instagram. Try to create an Instagram clone in the front-end technology in which you are working. The second one will be that try to contribute to any open source framework or library. Again, it will help you in building your personal brand. Along with that, you will be learning about that particular framework or library. Let's say you are learning or working on Angular. So contribute to any particular Angular based library, and by that you will not only learn about that library, you will also learn about new ways to use Angular in that particular library. Join any local community or meetup group and find out seniors or more experienced people in your particular technology or framework in that group and ask them for guidance. By now you might have understood what I am trying to explain here, that you should focus on becoming a SME and building your personal brand in the particular framework or technology in which you are working. Next question is by Ravi Yadav. He's asking, I am an ASP.NET web form developer, also know basics of MVC. I want to learn about API in .NET. Which API should I learn? Web API 2 in .NET Framework or APIs in .NET Core? Ravi, the syntax and working of both the APIs, that Web API 2 in .NET Framework or Web APIs in ASP.NET Core is almost similar. However, if you learn Web APIs in .NET Core and .NET 5, you will be kind of learning on latest technology and you will be kind of ready for future ready technology in the industry. So of course you can demand good salary or higher salary when you change your job. So my suggestion for you would be to of course learn Web API with .NET Core or .NET 5 or .NET 6. That way you will be future ready. And if you get chance, like if you, in your new job, if you get chance on working on Web API in regular .NET Framework, that also you can work, since as I said that the syntax is more or less similar in both of these like frameworks. Next question is by Deepam. He's asking, do developers need to learn the whole documentation of a framework or environment like Node.js to be able to begin any project? Deepam, going through the whole documentation just before beginning the project or beginning a development in a particular framework is just like preparing for whole subject. Like for example, if you are going for exam of math subject, you are preparing the whole math subject, all the branches of math, just to give exam of class 5th. I don't think you will do that. For preparing class 5th maths exam, you will go through the syllabus of class 5th maths and prepare for that. In the same way, when you are beginning to develop an application or project in a particular language, you just need to go through the basics like basic skills or basic concepts of that particular framework or technology. And then as on you start building the application, you try to solve the problems related to that application or project based on the concept in that particular framework or technology. Because the documentation of any particular framework or technology is very huge. You have given example of Node.js. I will give you example of .NET. Using .NET, you can create so many applications. So the documentation of .NET will contain everything, that how you can create mobile application, how you can create web application, how you can create desktop application. There are different sub frameworks of .NET to create desktop application in different scenarios. So if you before going to begin the project, if you start going through the documentation, you will get mad. That's the reason there are like courses which just teach you basics of any particular application framework and just give you CRUD understanding, the basics: create, read, update, delete, those functionalities, how to do all those functionality in an application. And later on you just customize these learnings based on the requirement which you are getting, and go through the documentation whenever you face any challenge in solving that problem or fixing that problem in that particular technology. So learn the basics first, implement them practically, and then improve or increase your syllabus gradually as you learn more and more. Next question is by Om Kaushik. He's asking, what is front-end software development? Om, the term front-end is primarily used for the user interface of any particular application on which the customer or user of that particular application works on. So if you are working on a web application, the website where you will be feeding your data or viewing the page, that is your front end. Similarly, if you are using a desktop application, the UI which you are getting on the desktop to enter data or read something, that is again your front end. Same goes with mobile also. So the process of developing these user interfaces in any technology is called front end development. The technology used in front-end development vary based on the type of front-end the application you are developing. So if you are developing a web application, you will be using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Blazor, ASP.NET, MVC. I'm talking about .NET technologies. So if you are developing a web application in .NET technologies, the front-end technologies for like .NET web application are HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Blazor, ASP.NET MVC. If you are developing desktop frontends using .NET technologies, then you will be using either Web Forms, WPF or UWP. If you are developing mobile frontends using .NET technologies, then probably you will be using Xamarin or Xamarin Forms. So as I said, the technologies will vary based on the kind of application you are going to build. So front-end development is basically developing the user interface of any application, be it web, desktop or mobile. Next question is by Farooq Azam. He's asking, how can social media help or hurt you in your job search? Farooq, your question is basically mixture of two questions. That is, how can social media help you in a job search, or how can a social media hurt you in a job search? So let me answer them one by one. So let's start by the positives first, that how social media can help you in your job search. If you build your social media profiles in such a way that you project your specialization and expertise on them, then they will help you in getting a good job according to your expertise and experience. So let me give you an example. Let's say you are a .NET developer. So if you are posting articles or writing articles on how to solve different problems in .NET technologies, that means you are kind of building your personal brand or showcasing your expertise in .NET on all the social media platforms. Another way would be to answer the queries and problems related to your particular technology or field on every social media platform. Just for example, if you are again a .NET developer, you can answer .NET related queries on either Stack Overflow or LinkedIn or Microsoft forums to showcase that you are kind of an expert and you know about .NET technologies. The third way would be to build or increase your network in your on the social media platform with people who are related to your field. So you can connect on people related to your field on LinkedIn, but again there is a positive way of connecting, that is you can connect with only those people with whom you have met physically or worked somehow in the capacity. That for example, let's say you meet someone on Meetup group and then probably you can connect with him on LinkedIn, that okay, we met on this Meetup group and let's connect over the LinkedIn, and that way if tomorrow if they have any opening in their company, they might refer you for that opening. Another way to build or improve your personal brand on social media platforms would be by constantly showcasing your accomplishments and share the shareable work content which you have done. So as let's say you have solved a particular problem which is not solved by anyone else, or if you have got some award or if you have done some certifications, you can showcase them on your social media platform, that I have done certification, or I am certified in so and so technologies, or I have just got this award from the company. So you can showcase all these achievement or accomplishments on the social media platforms. It will of course help you in your job search. Now let's talk how social media can hurt in your job search. So how it can negatively impact your job search. If you have improperly or not managed your social media profile in a good way, then of course social media can of course hurt in your job search. For example, if you are posting unprofessional or controversial pictures over social media, that would hurt in your job search, because the prospective employer will see those pictures and analyze that okay, this person is not a very professional person to work with. Another example can be if you are bullying people on social media or encourage or promote hateful comments on social media, that also can hurt your job search perspectives. So by these points, you might have understood that if you use it well, social media can be very helpful in your job search. But if you don't use it well, if you just do it casually, then of course social media can hurt in your job search. So these were my answers to your tech and career related queries in this episode of Techie Tuesdays. If you want your questions to be answered in next episode of Techie Tuesdays, you can DM me your questions with hashtag Techie Tuesdays on any social media platform. All my social media handles are Techie Rathor. I hope you like my answers, and if you like my answers, then please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends, family and colleagues. So until my next video, take care. Bye bye.